Hi everyone, welcome to another weekly Forex forecast for the week ending November 6th, 2020. My name is Justin Bennett with Daily Price Action, and in today's forecast we're going to talk about the EURUSD, the Pound USD, the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, as well as gold or XAUUSD. We're going to wrap things up with Ethereum versus Bitcoin. I talked about this one on Friday, and I do think that the pair is getting ready to bottom over the next few weeks and could even rally throughout 2021, so it's going to be one to keep an eye on. We'll talk about all of that and more in today's video, so let's get to it right now. A quick disclaimer that today's video is for educational purposes only. All views are my opinion and are not intended as investment advice. Forex is a high reward, high risk business, and you should not trade with borrowed money or money you cannot afford to lose. See the description of this video for the full disclaimer. First up, we have the EURUSD, and the pair continues to be unfavorable to trade simply because we're having the sideways movement above this 116.15 area and below 119.50. So ever since we had this retest up here, we've just had sideways movement. We are carving some lower highs here, so there's a pretty good chance we could see a move below 116.15 over the coming sessions, perhaps down to that 114.50 area that I've been talking about now for weeks. So if we move out to the monthly time frame, you can see here that 114.50 is going to be critical over the coming days and weeks. We have this horizontal level where it was resistance back here, support through this area, resistance once again, and 114.50 also lines up with this multi-year trend line. So this area right here around 114.50 is going to be a confluence of support that you're going to want to keep an eye on over the coming days and weeks. That's going to be a key support area that buyers have to hold in order for the euro to stay constructive. So as long as the pair is above that area, I have to stay relatively bullish the EURUSD. I do think we could see a pullback in the meantime, also because of the fact that we did have a bearish engulfing month back in September, so that could send the EURUSD down toward that 114.50 area. But moving back to the daily time frame, there is a potential for a bullish continuation pattern to form here based on some of these lows back here and also some of these recent highs. So this is speculative as of now, but we could get something like this where we have a falling wedge that forms, or perhaps even a channel off of some of these highs and lows. So if this does take place, you're going to want to keep an eye on this trend line down here just below that 116.15 area, and resistance right now is going to be this trend line up here. So as I've been saying, just the way that the pair is trending lower right now after this rally, this doesn't look like a major top up here. It could materialize into one, but as of right now, since we're getting this slight pullback, I don't like the idea of selling the EURUSD. I would rather look for buying opportunities either down here at this trend line or that 114.50 area if it does materialize over the coming weeks. Alternatively, if we see the pair move higher either from 116.15 or just below it, a break above this trend line up here could send the pair higher back toward that 119.50/70 area. But all in all, I continue to like the EURUSD higher into 2021. My target remains that 125 area as long as 114.50 holds as support over the coming weeks. Next, we have the pound versus the US dollar, which, similar to the euro, we've had a lot of indecision here recently. We've had this pullback back here since this high around 134.80, where we had this bearish pin bar that formed up here. We had what looks like an impulsive move down and now a correction higher. However, this May trend line is going to be one to watch. I mentioned this last week on the blog, and I do think that this trend line is what's keeping this uptrend intact. In other words, if we do get a daily close below this trend line support, that could open up some downside targets, including 126.70 and 125.20. Now, the reason I'm short here as of last week and looking to add more to it and not buying this pair is simply because this looks to be a potential lower high up here. So if you'll notice back here, since this trend line formed, we had this high back here, we then had a higher high, and so far after this retest of this trend line, it looks like we're getting a lower high, which does hint at some weakness here and could trigger a close below that trend line. I mentioned this to members last week, but at first glance, this looks like it could be a head and shoulders pattern. However, it doesn't quite qualify. And the reason for that is that this shoulder back here doesn't quite line up with this right shoulder. So in order for it to be a head and shoulders, you would have to have a right shoulder that forms on the same horizontal plane as the right shoulder. So notice how if I draw a horizontal level across here, both of these shoulders would line up. In this case, if I were to do that back here, you can see where this right shoulder is actually above that horizontal plane where the left shoulder sits. So while it's not technically a head and shoulders, it could still play out like one in the sense where if we get a close below that trend line, it could trigger some weakness here for the pound. But alternatively, if we do get a bounce higher from that trend line and we start to take out this high back here and come back to 132.60, that could be an indication that this uptrend is going to stay intact, and we could even come up and test 134.80. But as of right now, with the way the pair is rotating lower, I do like the idea of a break below this trend line for a push down into 126.70 and perhaps even 125.20. Now, looking at the monthly time frame here quickly, there is a trend line on the monthly time frame as well as a falling wedge over the last 20 years. However, if we do get a break below that trend line I just mentioned, this area right around 121 to 122 is going to be critical support. Notice how we have a trend line off of this low back here in 2016 that connects with several lows through this area. So the 121 to 122 area is going to be critical if we do get a breakdown on the daily time frame. So that May trend line is going to be one to watch. A close below it could send the pound lower. Alternatively, if the pair does take out this recent high up here, that would be indicative of strength. So I mentioned the Australian dollar last week, where we have this descending channel that's formed following this rally since the March low. All right, so we had this rally back here, and ever since we tested that 74 area, we've had this pullback that is now forming a potential descending channel. Now I say potential because I'm simply just connecting this trend line up here, which I've talked about recently, and I'm turning this into a descending channel using this low down here. So the reason it's potential and a bit speculative is because we haven't had a retest of this channel floor in order to validate this pattern. However, if we do get a daily close below 70.20, notice how 70.20, this area was resistance back here. It has now flipped to support. So if we do get a close below 70.20, that could open up the 68.30 area. That's a confluence of support based on these lows back here, as well as the bottom of that channel I just talked about. Now 66.80 would be next if 68.30 doesn't hold. And at the same time, if we do see a bounce either this week or over the coming weeks up toward this channel top and a close above this, that would be bullish and could send the Australian dollar back toward the 74 area. So just like a lot of pairs out there, this one is indecisive at the moment. And also be aware that this coming week, we do have the US elections on Tuesday, November 3rd. So you're going to want to keep that on your radar because it is going to cause a lot of volatility in the markets, and it's probably going to take a few days for the markets to settle. So I won't be doing anything here or anywhere really until that happens. So this week could be a slower one for me just because of those US elections. There's a lot riding on this election. So to me, the markets are probably going to be a little bit crazy this week. So the Australian dollar is one I'm going to leave alone for now until we do get a breakout of that channel. Next up, we have gold, or XAUUSD in this case. And I continue to like the idea of this being a continuation pattern after this 2016 rally. So this rally has been in place since the 2016 lows. And I like the idea of this being a continuation pattern, just like we've had multiple times over the past few years. So if you'll notice, ever since XAUUSD took out these highs back here, we've had multiple periods where we've had consolidation, like this one back here that triggered a move higher. Of course, this was the March sell-off back here, so it got a little bit messier, but then we had this consolidation through here that triggered a move higher. And to me, this is no different what's happening up here. It's similar to this consolidation back here and also this one. So this does not look like a major top to me. This looks like consolidation that will eventually lead to a push higher from gold back toward 2015 and 2075. Now, moving into the daily time frame, this wedge pattern has been a little bit tricky to figure out. We've had a couple of false breaks from previously drawn levels, but all in all, in the coming week, this area between 1820 and 1850 is going to be support. Resistance is closer to 1900, and it is going to take a daily close above this upper trend line in order to expose higher levels. But ultimately, if you look at the price action here, and if I were to just remove these levels, really gold needs to make a higher high, because ever since this high back here at 2075, we've had this series of lower highs on the way down. All right, so even these back here, this high right here never took out this one. So we really need to see a higher high where gold takes out these highs right through here. So if I draw a level there, we can say that gold needs to take out that area around 1930 in order to carve a first higher high within this series. So as long as the pair is carving these lower highs on the way down, this consolidation is intact, and we could see a retest of 1850 with a break there taking on that 1820 area and perhaps even 1790. I mentioned this a few weeks ago, but if you move out to the monthly time frame, you can see where back here in 2011 and 2012, this 1790 area was a critical factor as resistance. So that means if we do see a break below 1850, keep an eye on 1790 as support. And this view also hammers home the fact that this to me is a pullback, because look how far extended gold got on the monthly time frame. I use these 10 and 20 EMAs as the mean on any time frame, and right now the mean is down here around 1790, maybe even just below it. So gold was all the way up here at 2075, whereas these two EMAs were way down here. And this to me looks like consolidation, a pullback into either 1850 or 1790 before gold moves much higher over the coming months and years. And I'm going to do things a little differently this week for the last setup. This is something that I mentioned to members yesterday. I made a video for them where I talked about the potential for an inverse head and shoulders setting up on Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So this is ETHBTC. We're looking at the weekly time frame, and you can see how ever since the pair broke above these highs back here, we had this nice rally into the 0.0405 level. And this is going to be the neckline for this pattern. You can see where it was resistance back here and resistance again recently. Now, the right shoulder has yet to form here because I'm looking at this recent pullback as the potential right shoulder. And if that's the case, then this area between 0.0246 and 0.027, this area right through here, notice how we have a lot of highs and lows through this area over the years. This area could be the start of a right shoulder. So if we do see the pair catch a bid from this region, start to turn higher and move back to test 0.0405, that would form this right shoulder as part of a broader inverse head and shoulders pattern. Now, this pattern could actually take the pair all the way up to 0.065. So from current levels, that would be about 120% gain. And if we do see a retest of this area right here, that would be closer to 150% gain. So this is going to be one to watch over the coming weeks and even into 2021. I talked about this trend line here earlier this year, where the breakout from this trend line sent the pair up toward that 0.0405 level. So we've already had a nice rally from this pair. It's playing out perfectly. The price action here looks ideal to set up an inverse head and shoulders going into next year. But again, we do need to see a bounce from 0.0246 to 0.027. That's going to be the area that needs to hold and send ETHBTC higher in order for this pair to form that right shoulder as part of this inverse head and shoulders. So keep an eye on this one over the coming weeks. Look for bullish price action around this area, and I'll be sure to document this one over the coming weeks as things continue to unfold. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, leave your comment below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. See you next time.